This is what we're going to do. I'm going to speak first, then we're going to have a panel discussion. And that's really what you want, what you're really here for. But what I want to do is kind of set the stage, maybe prompt some questions you may not have thought about. Maybe you've already come into here with some questions you want to ask. That's great too. Hey, Himanshu, there's no microphones on the table. Okay, super. I didn't know if you had stands or whatever, but that's fine. All right, okay, so let's start. This is me. I actually, one of my research areas is process safety. Of course, we do a whole lot of other things. Some housekeeping. Please silence your phone. Do provide feedback for the session. If you're interested in more sessions of this nature, please let me know that. If you would like to present on a topic, I'd like to know that as well. And if you haven't already, please silence your phone, because it's always super embarrassing when somebody's asked you to silence your phone and you get a call anyway. All right. So, a little icebreaker. One of the things that nobody wants is a visit from OSHA. And worse yet, a visit from OSHA at an inopportune time, right? And usually those inopportune times happen after an accident, right? So, but anyway, so one of the things I want to do is level set. What do we mean by integrated safety? So by integrated safety, ARC means that it shares either a common software and or a common hardware component between the safety controller and the DCS or basic process control, okay? It's also called a common platform. Non-integrated safety, obviously, is the opposite, right? The safety system, the software, the controller, hardware is totally independent, but it may share data, right? So we also call that interfaced, okay? So let's take a poll. How many, now this is supposed to be through the app, I believe, yeah? I haven't done this, does it work? Okay, how many would characterize their company's safety approach as integrated, not integrated, or both? I'll give you a few minutes to do that. It's supposed to be in the app, right, Himanshu? Oh, okay. No, I'll behave myself. Apparently, I have to stand still. I have no idea. Pardon? There are no questions right now, according to the app. Okay. So let's just click through these and pretend like, well, let's do this. Show of hands. We'll do. We'll stop with the digitization and we'll go with the old analog. Show of hands. How many people would characterize their company's safety approach as integrated, non-integrated, or okay? Let's do integrated. How many would do it as integrated? Okay. How many would do it as non-integrated? You can't raise your hand twice. Okay, who does both? Yeah. Okay. We can't do that one. Because these aren't yes, no. Okay. Is anybody changing their philosophy from one to the other? Okay. Okay. So what we've seen in the past is there's an ideological conflict in this space. So there's people that are adamantly one way or the other, and there's also a group, and we've seen it here, that you've got both, right? So you're, you can't raise your hand twice. Okay. How many would do it as integrated? Okay. How many would do it as non-integrated? Okay. How many would do it as non-integrated? Okay. Okay. How many would do it as integrated? Okay. Okay. How many would do it as non-integrated? Okay. Okay. How many would do it as non-integrated? Okay. Okay. How many would do it as non-integrated? Okay. Okay. How many would do it as non-integrated? Okay. Okay. How many would do it as non-integrated? Okay. Okay. How many would do it as non-integrated? you've come to terms with either or, is kind of a better way of saying that, right? Now, the things that's happening, right, you got the one side that says is that the integrated or the non-integrated is safer because it lacks the common mode failures, but you've got the other group that say it's too much, it's unneeded, it's unnecessary, okay? So the integrated, some would say you're all relying on the same platform, but there's other benefits like I've only got to learn one engineering tool. I've got, it's easier on spares, in lifecycle management. There's that type of thing. So what are we seeing in the market? So one of the things I have noticed is that suppliers that did start off with a purely integrated play are now offering independent boxes so that they can also basically, if the install base for the DCS is somebody else's supplier, they're offering this independent box so they can still make sales into some other site, right? The reverse is also true. I've not seen anybody with a separate platform box come in with an integrated play. It's always been the opposite. They start off integrated and they make an independent box. So, I don't think that's because the philosophy is changing. I think it's more of a market share issue. We have also seen that integrated versus non-integrated follows certain industries. So some of the pharmaceuticals tend to be more integrated. They lean toward the integrated versus heavy manufacturing like a refinery or a petrochemical. One of the things that kind of throws a monkey wrench in that is when you, I'll get to it later. So another trend that we see, and this isn't new, right, is the changing of the skill set dynamic, right? We've got a lot of people graduating to retirement. And when that skill set leaves, we're having trouble replacing it. And it's a lot easier to teach the new engineers one engineering tool versus having multiple engineering tools that they have to keep up with. Another trend, we're seeing a lot of safety lifecycle management applications come out. These require connectivity of some sort. So the data comes out, what has happened or transpired in the controller over the year, how do I keep track of that, what about changes? And when you start talking about connectivity, it brings a different type of risk into the equation. Increasing government scrutiny happens every time there's an accident. All of a sudden the focus is on you. We go back to the first slide where we talk about OSHA. Then OSHA came, right? And then the cybersecurity concerns. Okay? So some things to ponder. When you're looking at your approach, it's obviously, it opens up the bigger can of worms called, how do I manage my risk, right? Is this a significant risk? Is it not? How do I measure that? What is my company's feeling about that risk? Which path should I take? What are the decisions I need to make? What are the questions I need to ask to determine that? Okay, these are things, by the way, these are the things I want you to ask the panel. Okay. Okay, what about the IoT? What about all this connectivity? What's that mean? Does that change my philosophy? Should it change my philosophy? What should I keep in mind when I start pulling this data and connecting? Nobody says they're going to connect to the internet, but they want the data. There's going to be a path, and we just don't know how to, right now, how do you want to do that? How do you want to manage it? Okay? Cybersecurity, how safe? How do I keep it safe? How do I manage that? If I've got an integrated platform, does that change the equation versus a non-integrated platform? Does that matter to me? Okay. Skill sets. You know, so when you talk about your approach to safety, do you keep in mind the people element? That's coming up a lot. We're seeing that a lot at ARC. The people element is a very strong force that a lot of people don't consider when they consider a technology. And so, you know, you see a lot of culture change. Right now we're seeing there's going to be a lot of culture change as we hire new young people. They don't think of technology the way we think about it. I'm saying we. I'm presuming you're Gen X or higher, or lower. I guess Gen X and lower. Anyway, okay. So panel rules. Don't ask a panelist that puts them in something that puts them in a compromising situation. Like, okay, I know that. Like for example, David Dybert said, "Oh, I know Air Products does this, but what do you think?" Don't ask him something like that. We want him to go home, be safe, and be employed, right? Make sure everybody gets a chance to ask questions, and again, please rate the session. And with that, thank you.